The rise of the state is a key point in the evolution of human society. Most of the research, certainly in the social sciences, has been directed at what happened, but both in a sense, the why and how questions have not been tackled with the same level of sophistication as the what question. And this project wants to explore and see if there are regularities in the evolution of early states. But also, we want to know why, in similar circumstances, in other parts of the world at different times and places, the state did not arise. The earliest states probably began at what's now referred to as Lower Mesopotamia in modern day, particularly centering in Iraq and neighboring areas, probably around 3000 BCE or a little earlier. I think one of the fascinating topics for us in this project is to look at what are often referred to as primary states. That is, states begin in areas where there are no predecessors, and this probably happened at least 6 or 7 times in world history. I think legitimately we can say that a state involves the beginnings of large-scale bureaucracy and administration and different levels in the hierarchy of administration, and the control of such hierarchy by an elite who also has some kind of coercive power, be it a standing army or other ways to enforce the rules and laws that this bureaucracy comes up with. And what's fascinating when you look at these pristine states and then other examples of secondary states that arise, there seems to be significant patterning in the way they arise. So we really wanted to find out, are there commonalities that we can actually come up not only with a clear model and an explanation of why and how they arose, but literally, if we can, actually come up with a quantifiable model that's predictive. Our current understandings in most general form of the rise of early states is that they develop in the context of competing chiefdoms. That is, smaller scale groups in a given landscape who are competing for resources, for labor, and so on. And it's in this competitive environment that the next step that allows one of these competing groups to succeed and ultimately take over the others. That's how states arise. Part of it is military skills and mobilization of significant, well cooperating groups, but also the ability through trade to support both the elite themselves and also the elite's ability to mobilize forces, and then the buildup of administrative organization to effectively control areas that might have been taken over by military conquest. It's in effect the higher level of organization that one of the competing groups is able to achieve that gives it the ability to outcompete, if you will, the other chiefdoms. What are the key variables? Clearly, conflict, competition for resources are important, but there may well be a host of others in the realm of ideology, in the realm of politics, let alone economics, and also the general role that ecology and landscape may play as well. So that is a large, complex, adaptive system in each case. In today's world, one of the exciting things for archaeologists are the quantity of terrific data from a number of individual sites or regions throughout the world. What we've lacked and what our Templeton Foundation project is going to tackle is trying to compare these many cases on a global basis and see if we can find common processes that led to the rise of the state and early cities throughout time and space. Part of our project is to build a database on all the available archaeological data about early state development that we can put our hands on. A number of SFI scientists have been looking at different aspects of the rise of early states and cities, combining perspectives from cultural anthropology, from archaeology, from history, but also using modeling from biology, from physics, and a host of disciplines, obviously looking at new methods, particularly computer simulations. And this project will bring all of these different approaches together, what we hope will be a really productive and important result. Why study the state? What's so important? And the answer is really twofold. One is it's inherently interesting, I think, historically, to understand how states and cities first arose. But just as importantly, and I think for many of us, we feel that understanding and explaining the rise of states and cities will provide us with new perspectives on the problems facing the world today.